Most people completely misunderstand what it actually takes to register a company in Somalia. And because of that misunderstanding, they either assume it is impossible due to instability, or they believe it is a completely informal process with no real legal structure. But the reality is far more complex, and far more interesting. And that is exactly what Daniel discovered when he began exploring business opportunities in emerging African markets from his home in Dubai. Daniel ran a small logistics and import consulting business. His work involved connecting suppliers in Asia with buyers in East Africa. And as his network expanded, he began to notice something important. Somalia kept appearing in conversations about untapped markets, regional trade routes, and private sector rebuilding opportunities. At first, he dismissed it. Like many people, he associated Somalia with instability and assumed formal business registration systems were either non-existent or not practical for foreign entrepreneurs. But then he met someone who changed his perspective completely. A trade consultant named Omar, who had worked with local business communities in Mogadishu and Hargeisa, told him something unexpected. Somalia has a functioning company registration framework through regional and federal systems. It is not uniform like Western countries, but it is real, structured, and actively used. That statement made Daniel pause, because it challenged everything he assumed. And that is where this story truly begins. Somalia's business environment is unique, because it operates through a combination of federal governance and regional administrations, meaning company registration processes can vary depending on where the business is being established. In many cases, companies register through regional ministries of commerce or chambers of commerce, and in some areas, additional licensing or trade permits may be required depending on the business activity. And this is where most people get confused, because they expect a single, centralized digital registration system like they would find in Europe or the United States. But Somalia does not function that way. Instead, it functions through structured local administrative systems that require documentation, verification, and physical or representative processing. And once Daniel understood that, everything started to make sense. But understanding the system and navigating it are two very different things. So Daniel decided to treat it seriously. He began working with Omar, who explained the first critical step. Before anything else, you must define the jurisdiction where your company will be registered. Because in Somalia, business registration can depend on whether you are operating in federal jurisdictions or regional administrations, such as Somaliland or Puntland, each with its own administrative procedures. And that detail matters more than most people realize. Because jurisdiction determines documentation requirements, licensing authorities, and sometimes even banking accessibility. Daniel initially thought he could choose anywhere arbitrarily, but Omar corrected him. You don't just pick a location. You choose based on where your business activity will actually operate. Wow! That changed his approach completely. Because Daniel's logistics business was focused on port operations and cross-border trade, meaning location selection had strategic implications. So he narrowed his focus. And here's where the process begins. The first step in registering an LLC equivalent in Somalia is business name selection and approval. Just like in other jurisdictions, your company name must be unique and acceptable to the relevant authority. Daniel prepared 3 options. One was too generic and was rejected. Another conflicted with an existing registered business in the region. The third was approved after review. And this step, while simple in concept, carries legal importance. Because in Somalia's registration framework, a company name is not just branding. It is legal recognition of identity within the administrative system. Once the name is approved, the next stage is documentation preparation. And this is where many foreign entrepreneurs underestimate the process. Because even though Somalia is an emerging market, company registration still requires formal legal documentation. Daniel had to prepare identification documents, proof of address, and a detailed description of business activities. But Omar emphasized something important. Your business activity description must be precise. Because vague descriptions can delay approval or lead to additional verification requests. So instead of writing, consulting, and trade services, Daniel specified import-export logistics coordination and regional supply chain consulting. That clarity made a difference. But here's where things get interesting. Because after documentation comes company structure definition. In Somalia, LLC-style entities are typically structured as limited liability companies under local commercial regulations, meaning shareholders have limited liability proportional to their investment. Daniel had to define shareholder ownership, capital contribution, and management structure. And this is where Sarah, another entrepreneur from London, ran into problems when she used generic international templates that did not match local administrative expectations. Her application was delayed because the structure did not align with regional registration formats. And that is a common mistake. People assume legal structures are universal. They are not. They must be adapted to jurisdictional requirements. So Daniel rebuilt his documents with Omar's guidance. He clearly defined ownership percentages. He established a registered office address within the jurisdiction. And he ensured all details were consistent across documents. And consistency is critical. Because inconsistencies between documents are one of the most common causes of delays in emerging market registrations. Once documentation was complete, the application was submitted to the relevant commerce authority. And this is where patience becomes essential. Because unlike automated systems, review processes may involve manual verification, document cross-checking, and sometimes additional clarification requests. And during this stage, many entrepreneurs feel uncertain. But Omar explained something important. If your documents are correct, the process moves forward. If something is missing, they will ask for clarification. That is normal. And that reframed Daniel's expectations. After review, his application was approved. And his company was officially registered. But here's where things become more complex. Because registration is not the final step. It is only legal recognition. The next critical stage is licensing and tax registration. Depending on the business activity, additional licenses may be required, especially for import-export operations, logistics services, or regulated trade sectors. Daniel had to register for tax identification with the relevant authority to ensure compliance. And this is where Emily, another entrepreneur working in East Africa, encountered delays previously because her business activity description did not match tax classification categories. And this highlights something essential. Tax registration is not automatic. It must align with your company's structure and declared business activities. So Daniel ensured alignment across all documents. And this helped him move through the process without major issues. But here's where the deeper insight emerges. Because in Somalia, and many emerging jurisdictions, company registration is not just administrative. It is relational. Local understanding, clarity of documentation, and consistency of communication play a major role in how smoothly the process progresses. And that is something many foreign entrepreneurs underestimate. They focus on legal steps, but not procedural context. And that difference can determine success or delay. Once tax registration was completed, Daniel moved on to the final operational step, banking and financial access. And this is often the most sensitive stage. Because banks require full documentation, including incorporation certificates, tax identification, shareholder verification, and proof of business activity. And depending on risk assessment, additional due diligence may be required. This is where Michael, an entrepreneur from Canada, faced delays in a similar process because his financial documentation was incomplete. Banks need clarity. They need to understand what the business does, how money flows, and who controls operations. So Daniel prepared carefully. He documented supplier agreements. He outlined revenue models. And he provided clear explanations of his logistics operations. And that preparation made a difference. But here's the most important insight most people miss. In Somalia's business environment, structure creates trust. The more organized your documentation, the smoother your interactions with institutions become. And that applies to registration, taxation, and banking. Once Daniel completed all steps, his company was fully operational within the local legal framework. And what surprised him most was not the difficulty of the process. It was the clarity he gained after understanding the system. What? Because once the structure became visible, everything became manageable. And that is the real lesson. Somalia's company registration system is not random or informal. It is structured within regional administrative frameworks that require clarity, consistency, and procedural respect. And when those conditions are met, the system works. But here's a final curiosity loop most entrepreneurs never consider. Emerging markets like Somalia are gradually strengthening their commercial frameworks as part of broader economic development, which means documentation standards and compliance requirements are becoming increasingly important over time. That means the system is evolving. An early understanding of how it works provides a strategic advantage. So let's bring everything together clearly. First, you determine the correct jurisdiction for registration. Second, you reserve and approve your company name. Third, you prepare detailed and consistent incorporation documents. Fourth, you register your company through the relevant commerce authority. Fifth, you complete tax registration and compliance alignment. And finally, you establish banking and operational infrastructure with full documentation consistency. Each step builds legal and operational legitimacy. And skipping any step creates delays later in the process. And here is the final insight. Most people assume Somalia is either too unstable or too informal for structured business registration. But the truth is more nuanced. It is a developing but functional system that rewards clarity, preparation, and consistency. Daniel started this journey uncertain and cautious. But he ended it with something far more valuable than incorporation. He gained understanding. And understanding is what transforms uncertainty into strategy. So if you are considering registering a company in Somalia or any similar emerging jurisdiction, the real question is not whether the system exists. It does. The real question is whether you are ready to follow the structure with precision and patience. Because once you do, you realize something powerful. Global opportunity is not random. It is structured. And when you understand the structure, you can operate in places most people will never even consider. If you found this guide helpful and want more deep breakdowns of international company formation and emerging market business systems, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Because the next guide might completely change how you see global opportunity.